Alright, Josh here, and I suppose none of you would know because I don't think I've mentioned them on this YouTube channel before, but I'm definitely going to start because they're one of my favorite bands. It is Daft Punk, which if you don't know is a techno-pop band with kind of bits of disco in there. A little harder to find, but definitely techno would be the best genre to put them in if you were going to. And if you don't know them, go check them out because they are definitely a great band, very well known, so you got your recommendation there, so I'm just going to go straight ahead and dive into their latest feature, and latest by 2007. It's called Alive 2007, which is a live concert album. And supposedly they're working on some new stuff, and by my calculations, probably should come out later this year, but it could be early 2010. We'll see. I hope it's a good either way. And as a precursor to my review, I just want to say that I'm a bigger fan of Discovery and Human After All over Homework, so all Daft Punk fans, judge me by that. But anyway, starting off, the concert album is Robot Rock / Oh Yeah, which is an epic concert opener. Really gets the beat thumping. Starts off very slowly, but really gets the crowd pumped. You can hear in the background. It really gets you pumped to listen to the rest of the album. Oh Yeah makes a perfect backdrop and conclusion for Robot Rock. It really works in the total megamix sense. Moving on is Touch It and Technologic, and I hate Touch It. Oh, I'm not going to say hate it. I do hate it. And I do not particularly care for Technologic, but together they do work in the megamix sense. They don't work in a single sense, but they do work in a megamix sense. They are a good lead off after Robot Rock and Oh Yeah, and thankfully that picks back up with next track, Television Rules the Nation / Crescendos. And I did not think these two would be combined, but you know, Daft Punk, if anyone can do what they can, and Television Rules the Nation is even better than in its remixed form than it was in its original form, with Crescendos as the backdrop and their new sound remix of it in general. I really appreciate it, and I love both songs. And even better more that comes along is Too Long and Steam Machine, and Too Long is not featured too prominently, and I don't even really like Steam Machine, but like I said, Daft Punk really can bring it, and Steam Machine really works both in the megamix sense, and you could just listen to this on their own and really get pumped by it. It's not my favorite one because I prefer the vocal tracks, but it's still great. You know what is great though? Next track, which is a mix of Around the World and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Around the World's a kick-ass song, and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger is one of Daft Punk's most famous songs from their most famous album, mainstream-wise at least, Discovery. And Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger is an incredible song as well. The two of them put together may not equal the greatness of either, but on one hand is extremely fun and really gives a little something different to each song. It makes them sound like new songs, and I really appreciated that. Around the World acts as a great backdrop too. Unfortunately, now we get into something that's not too great, which is Burnin' / Too Long, and this is probably going on for too long. It's 7 minutes long, and Too Long is a great song in of itself, but it's slightly butchered with Burnin', which I did not like again, but it does work in a megamix sense, and it's not painful. None of these tracks are painful. All of them are good. I don't want to sound like I'm dissing it, because I am going to give this a positive review in the end. After this is Face to Face and Short Circuit. Short Circuit was okay on its own, and I love Face to Face, and they work great together, much like Robot Rock and Oh Yeah. Short Circuit provides a great backdrop and conclusion to Face to Face, and really builds quite nicely. Moving on yet again is One More Time and Aerodynamic. One More Time being one of Daft Punk's most famous songs, and Aerodynamic being another fan favorite song, I should say, is quite nice. They work nice together. You got a taste of this in the Daft Club album, but it is done much better here because One More Time is more preserved, and I'm going to just go on a personal opinion here and say One More Time is the better part of it. It's the lyrical portion of it, so it should get more of a boost than the instrumental part. A different take, I suppose, on Daft Club, but I still prefer this one. It's a great track in of itself. Is a great remix of One More Time, and it is followed by Aerodynamic Beats. And you know, after hearing One More Time and Aerodynamic, having another song with Aerodynamic Beats, it's almost the same thing as Aerodynamic. And Aerodynamic Beats is 3.5 minutes long, and it's just unneeded, I found. I'd call it padding. It does work in the megamix sense a bit. You can hear in the background, this is one of the pros of the concert album, you can hear the audience reacting to it, and they seem to enjoy it, but I don't think I would enjoy this quite as much. I'd imagine this would be the dance portion, I suppose it'll be a dance portion, but I don't see this working out in any context by itself. Next time we have the long combination of Prime Time of Your Life, which was one of the better one of the better tracks from Human After All, combined with Brainwasher, Rollin' and Scratching. And this is one of those odd ones where it's combined with Alive too, so I'm not mistaken. And where I love Prime Time of Your Life, I don't particularly care for Brainwasher. Rollin' and Scratching's okay, and Alive's also okay. But the 3 tracks after Prime Time of Your Life actually do a really good job of building in between the songs to a better conclusion, which Prime Time of Your Life fades after the beginning of the song and really comes back in force at the end. You really feel that. And I think that was a great idea by Daft Punk, because it really keeps the beat going despite the album's over 1 hour length, which, I mean, it works in a concert, but just listening to it by yourself, maybe not necessarily so. But still pretty good, actually. It's one of the better latter albums here. It's 10 minutes and 22 seconds long, though, which is a little over, but what can you do? Up next is the nigh unpronounceable Daft Punk slash Dadftendirect. Alright, I'm never able to pronounce that quite properly after practice. Maybe not even that. I'm usually pretty good at pronouncing words. Not sure why I can't, but regardless, Daft Punk was a great song, and the latter was also a pretty good song. And combined, they do a really good job. I really like this remix better than either of them initially, and it does a great job of leading to what I thought should have been the closer, which is, again, an extremely long mix, which is 5 minutes and 41 seconds, but more so, it's Superheroes, Human After All, and Rock and Roll. The former 2 of which are excellent songs in themselves, and Rock and Roll makes a great backdrop. Superheroes also acts as the backdrop, even though it started out. Human After All is the main theme in this song, and of course, of Daft Punk in general, and what direction they're going, at least. And it really works. I think this should have been the closer, because it closes out with a bang, and you don't want to close with a whimper, which is, unfortunately, what the final song does, which is Human, Together, One More Time, Music Sounds Better With You, and Stardust Instrumental. And if that was not a long enough title for you, then I don't know what is. And while it's not bad in of itself, I didn't particularly love it. There wasn't a huge draw to it. It wasn't danceable. It wasn't really hummable. There was no massive amount of lyrics to really get you to sing it. I don't see how it really worked at all. And then Stardust Instrumental closed it with a whimper, like I said, and it's a strange choice. It would really seem to calm the crowd down more than the last song. And while it's not the best song, in fact, I'd say it's one of the lesser on the albums, it does close out relatively nicely. Not as good as perhaps could have been, but the inclusion of One More Time and Human also really helped with this mix. Overall, I will say that Alive 2007 is one of my favorite concert albums, if not only because Daft Punk is one of my favorite bands, but also because a lot of the remixes and live versions are significantly different than what you've heard before and change the feel and tone of a lot of songs. Not quite in the same destructive way that Daft Club did, but that's for another story, or that's for another time. Anyway, if you are an old Daft Punk fan and like Discovery and are okay with Human After All, then you know what, pick this up. If you don't like Discovery or Human After All and are a Daft Punk purist and just love Homework, you're not going to like this. There's really not much for you here. But at the same time, if you're new to Daft Punk, then you know what, check this out. This is actually a pretty good starting point. It's not massively indicative of their work, but it's a good example of what Daft Punk can do while they're on their game. Either way, I would suggest checking it out. It's $9.99 on iTunes and provides a lot of entertainment for your buck. It's an hour and 10 minutes long, and it comes with a digital booklet with 26 different pictures in it, and though I could have sworn it said 52 on the iTunes, I could be wrong. I'm not going to check it. Anyway, Daft Punk Alive 2007, great CD if you buy it physical or not. It's definitely worth it for mostly any Daft Punk fans, at least, and is one of my favorite CDs of recent years.